Thank you, Pankaj, to be in my show. It's called Mindfulness with Manish. The topic of today's discussion is all about yoga and
Yes,
specifically Reiki yoga.
Reiki may not be yoga, so to say.
What is the meaning of Reiki?
Yeah, so it's a Japanese term. What happened is it is a Japanese energy science.
Proven by science.
Yeah, so I think it's Korean photography or something. There is a photography technique where you can picture people's aura, and people see differences in the like hemoglobin level of the blood and all of that. So Reiki can definitely
So there's a lot of benefits.
lot of benefits, and then people who go for therapy, if they are having aches and pains and whatnot,
Is Reiki known to cure 100% of the depression and stress, or is it like sometimes it cures, sometimes it doesn't? For some people it does, for some people it doesn't.
I don't even have to scan you. I'll just put my hands near your head, not even touch your head, because like I'm already a master level, so I don't really have to touch you. I can really put my hand 6 inch above your body and then see if you feel something. So we can definitely do that. It's not that.
When you say what I feel something, what does it mean?
Say for example, you are having sinus, and then I'm putting my hand, and then if you need a lot of energy, I'm literally sweating in my hands, but you also feel warmth.
People have formed themselves as guru and they started giving those misinformation. I don't want to name some gurus, but some gurus have chalo, let's get started. Thank you, Pankaj, to be in my show. It's called Mindfulness with Manish. The reason why
That would
I
be
call this mindfulness is because to connect with people on the same where they're coming from. They can come from different backgrounds. So basically from yoga, travel, spirituality, and how they basically apply mindfulness in wherever they're coming from.
Yeah.
Like for example, mindfulness it has a different definition.
Yeah.
It has a definition of being centric, being aware, being grounded, humble, and those kind of things. And I know you from like past 2-3 years.
Yeah.
We worked in the same company.
Yeah.
But for the sake of the audience, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Where are you coming from? Where are you from India? How you came to US? And where are we right now?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So first of all, yeah, thanks for including me in this initiative. It's an honor to be on your channel, and I like to speak on this subject, of course. So uh, a little bit about myself. I born in India and in a small town. I complete pretty much all of my schooling in a government school up to 12th, that too in a Hindi medium, and then I moved to Indo City in MP, India, and from there I did my bachelor's and master's in computer science. So I completed my master's in '99, and after that I got a job in Noida from the campus itself.
This was back in which year?
Yeah. So I got my job in '99.
99.
So same year I completed my post grad. That's where I got a job in Noida, and then I got married in 2004. Uh, at that time I was still in India. At that time actually I was in Chandigarh. So I first worked in Noida and then Chandigarh, and then I went to Hyderabad. So I went to Hyderabad in 2006, joined Microsoft, and bit about a family profile also. I just keep adding there. So in 2007, my daughter was born, uh, and then I moved to US in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're coming from software background.
Yeah.
So you moved to US in 2012 via Microsoft.
Well, because in Hyderabad I was already in Microsoft. So I joined Microsoft in Hyderabad in 2006. So it was kind of a pretty convenient move, like an internal move
Got it.
from Microsoft to Microsoft here in the same team, pretty much. Uh, that's the reason, right? So I spent good amount of time professionally in India before moving to US itself. So yeah, 2012 I came here, and then my son was born in 2013. Sort of, in a way, completed the family, if you will. Uh, that's pretty much the basis of it. And then to 2016 I bought this house. Right now we are in near Seattle. This town is called like Bothell in Washington State. That's where we are.
It's a very beautiful city. We can,
Yeah.
as we can see.
Yeah, it's very beautiful, especially around in summer it's pretty good, but yeah, rain is always a
Some
problem.
people say that rain is a depressing thing here, but I feel like rain is also a blessing. Like with the rain, you get a lot of lush.
Yeah, I think what happens is when we came here, like we came in January, and first almost like 3 to 4 months, we didn't see anybody outside. So it was kind of a bit of a depressing thing because we are coming as a new family. We want to connect with other people. So sometimes that kind of things can become little difficult. There is a special term for it, if you know, Seattle freeze, which is like it's difficult to make friends in Seattle. Some
Is it?
people call it. Yeah, there is a
Yeah.
term called
Ju-
Seattle.
all
Yeah.
like for everyone or just for Indians?
No, it's for everyone.
Hmm.
It's mainly because at least we were family, and then once our daughter started going to school, that's how we connected with other families, and then we kind of learned the way of life here. During winter, is mostly like get together time, and then we kind of form kids play circle so they can play with each other, and then slowly you get to know people.
Hmm.
So now it has been like a lot of years. So now we know the way of life here. So we are okay. But for a lot of people, this whole 6 to 8 months of rainy time,
6 to 8 months.
well, I think it doesn't rain hard, but it's always drizzling. You know, it's always gray outside. So
There's no sun.
no sun for a lot of days together, and then 6 to 8 months you don't have a lot of good weather predictability to go out. But then if you know, there are always good places to go out indoors, and
Yeah.
then it's always the holiday times and get together times. So it really depends. You know, you have to learn to live here.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
No, thanks for letting me know the background.
yeah,
And so far, you've been working in DocuSign, my
yeah,
past company, and where we
yeah.
met.
Yes.
So, talking about like living in this gloomy, people call it gloomy weather.
Gloomy weather. Yeah,
Gloomy weather.
that's
Some
what they call.
people feel like stress, depression, and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it can happen
It can happen.
because let's say you have you want to just go out for a walk or bike or run, and then a lot of times due to weather you can't, and then that simply can, you know, that whole physical exercise thing can get discontinued, and then you have to really form your circles here, right? Different groups and circles, and then like I definitely connect with other friends, and at least once a month we try to go out, like this main only thing, or then we connect with other family, and then there are like family circles. So one by one we just go to one family's house and we try to really maintain
So
that.
connect with the people
Yeah,
and be
right.
social.
Yeah, if you don't do that, then it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
And then there are, because everybody knows it always rains in Seattle, so there are enough indoor places you can go and enjoy. So you just have to really learn to ignore the rain for
Yeah.
some time. But again, during the summer, this place is a heaven, you know.
Yeah,
So
a lot of people come from all over the world here
right,
to do
right.
hiking because I've been here always in summer. Like there's a lot of beautiful hiking like Kolchak Lake,
Awesome, yeah.
Rainier, Olympic
This
National Park
during summer, this place is pretty good
is
actually. The
is
weather
heaven.
is pleasant, not too hot, and even during the winter, it's not like super cold or something. But during summer, it's not too hot, and it's like pleasant. And then also because we have a lot of mountains, there are lots of lakes. Sea is not far away anyway, but there are a lot of water bodies and parks. Because of that, you have a lot of opportunities to really just go out and enjoy nature. And it's evergreen state anyway, so
Yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense, man. Cool. So a lot of people do different things to deal with this gloomy weather.
Yeah.
The topic of today's discussion is all about yoga and
Yes.
specifically Reiki yoga.
Correct.
Before we jump into Reiki yoga, let's talk about yoga first, and then we go deep down
Yeah.
into Reiki. So, I know the definition of yoga, but from your understanding, what is yoga all about? If you can give a little bit definition, that will be great.
For yoga,
Yeah, what is yoga?
well, I think I'm not like a yoga expert, but you know enough about yoga. For me, generally, I try to see things to define things. You know, there are a lot of similar things, so I try to differentiate, right? So, some of the other forms of physical exercises versus yoga, and then how you basically are, how yoga and meditations are closely associated, right? So, whenever you say yoga, people take that meditation
It's
is
just a
going to be
physical
part of
exercise.
that, right?
Yeah.
So it's much more holistic because there is definitely some part of yoga is gonna have some sort of meditation or mindful exercise and whatever, right? So it's much more holistic, it's not only for the body, it's also for your mind and spirit and all of that. And mindfulness itself is good for your emotional well-being, for example. And of course, we will be talking about Reiki. It's like also very similar, where it can take you to all those levels. So that's, for me, that's like yoga. It's like much more holistic.
So you are
Yeah,
saying yoga is not just about like a body which is
yeah,
physical, it's also about everything which is
yes,
soul, spirit,
yes,
mind,
yeah,
everything as a whole.
as a whole.
And as a westernizers, they have procrastinated like the yoga is only just for physical. Like all
Yeah,
these institute like hot power yoga, core power yoga.
there is always, you have something famous, and you are starting to see a lot of variations of it. But if you really go and study pure Indian yoga, I think that's the essence of that is like holistic. It should touch upon, all of the aspects of your personality.
Okay.
So, but yeah, again, whatever sells, right? So even like power yoga, hot yoga, even that's not bad, right? That's still better than some other things.
Right,
But
right.
yeah.
So coming to the different forms of yoga, right?
Mhm.
Reiki is one of the form of yoga. Why? What Reiki yoga is all about? Can you go little basics and why it is
Yeah.
different from other kinds of yoga?
Well, so uh, there are definitely a lot of variations of Reiki, and then also I have heard Reiki yoga as well. But Reiki may not be yoga, so to say.
What is the meaning of Reiki?
Yeah, so it's a Japanese term. What happened is it is a Japanese energy science got developed by like a Japanese grandmaster, and he also recognized that he also found the roots of this thing in India also, where you can see photo of gods having aura painted behind, and then you have a lot of examples where they are like touching people to heal and all. So this is a Japanese term, and the meaning of Reiki is like a spiritual guided life force energy, or life force energy also is like a good translation. Uh, so it's not yoga in a way, because Reiki doesn't have any physical part of it. So there is no exercises attached to it. uh, in a very simple term, it's more of like an energy, life force energy healing system, where if you complete like the first degree, if you put your hands on say some part of your patient's body where they have like aches and pains, you can start healing them. So that's Reiki. Reiki is like an energy, I mean, in simple terms, it's more like an energy flowing from your hand into somebody
Does it
else's
happen
body.
actually like the energy flows from the hand to the body of the other person? Or
Well,
it's just a mental concept?
no, good question actually. Yeah. So there are enough scientific studies that have been done. Uh, there are specific cameras where they can click photos, and they claim that they can actually picture your aura. And a lot of studies done where
What is
in,
aura?
yeah, so aura is like our energy body in very simple term. So if you go to Indian text, there are like 7 different layers of aura. But it's like your energy body, where say you have your physical body, right? If I pinch you, you're gonna feel pain. That's your physical body. But then just trying to simplify that, what about your emotional being, right? Where is it? So aura, some of the aura layers contains your emotional body, your mental body, your astral body. So everything together, you can simply call that an aura.
So
So there are
basically,
some
yeah.
techniques where I think it's Kirlian photography or something. There is a photography technique where you can picture people's aura, and then whether it actually happens or not, there are studies done where they have divided people into groups, and then one is pure placebo. So for one group, people are doing Reiki, but they are not masters. They are not even Reiki channel. Nothing is flowing. Another group of people, they are actually masters. So they are trying to heal them, and then they try to do various tests on those people, including blood test. For blood test, they are like measuring like hemoglobin and all different levels in all this chemistry, and also whether how they are feeling, right? I'm trying to give you Reiki, do you feel it or do you don't? So there are like clear evidence, a lot of scientific studies you can search, and there's like one good part about Reiki is it's very simple and very popular and very well structured. So if you Google Reiki, you're just gonna get a lot of sites. And even in America, like even Seattle, there are like two or three houses which can give you degree, which can train you, or they can also heal you, and they also give that as a therapy. So there is enough evidence that it actually
Reiki is
happens.
helpful for the betterment of the human being. That's what
Yeah,
you.
in fact, Reiki can treat just about anything. Even if you have pain in the knee, right? Reiki can heal that also. If you have like a tonsil or sore throat and a lot of pain or swelling around your throat, so Reiki can heal that as well.
Hmm.
And you not everybody has to believe what I'm saying, because if I'm giving Reiki to somebody else, they actually feel something flowing. They
Is
actually,
that proven by science?
yeah, so the science part of that is all this photography, and then I'm giving Reiki to somebody, and then immediately before the session and after the session, you're trying to take a lot of measures. And then somebody is going through one whole week of Reiki sessions, and there is this photographic camera which can click your aura. They see differences in the aura, and they people see differences in the like hemoglobin level of the blood and all of that. So Reiki can
So
definitely
there's a lot of benefits.
lot of benefits. And then people who go for therapy, if they are having aches and pains and whatnot, that's like physical part. So even for that, they feel the energy flowing, and they also feel the pain subsiding and all of that. So
Got
that's
it.
the physical part. But Reiki is also known to heal some of the other things, like your dream pattern changes, your outlook towards the life changes. And then somebody who is having some kind of depression or any other stress or trauma, after the first session, it's all supposed to come out on the surface. So they do feel very intense emotions coming out on the surface, and they should continue another couple of days, and they slowly kind of
One
subside.
question I have, still people have a lot of depression and stress. A lot of my friends who
Yeah.
come, like I have a yoga channel, yoga like institute. Not lot of people know about Reiki actually.
Yes.
So is Reiki known to cure 100% of the depression and stress, or is it like sometimes it cures, sometimes it doesn't? For some people it does, for some people it doesn't.
Well, I think there's always gonna be this thing where no, if now we are talking about Reiki as a healing therapy, right? And then Reiki also has a path towards like spirituality and better emotional health and all of that. So any therapy is gonna, no therapy can guarantee, right? I mean that okay, something is gonna be cured in that much time. And
Nobody
also,
knows that.
yeah, and then if you think about it, Reiki is an energy science, and it's dealing with energy body. So there is also a theory or concept where okay, if you have accumulated a problem in 1 year, maybe I can cure it in a month. But if you have been accumulating something for 5 years, then
It
what I'm
takes
saying,
time.
it may have gone to much deeper layer, or maybe some childhood trauma, right? And then they have been suffering, not sharing with anybody for 20 years. So then the
It takes
treatment could
time.
be different, right?
Right.
So but it works, it works on so many of all these things. And especially all this stress and trauma and all these things are very difficult to define physically. Okay, where it exactly does it hurt, right? You can't put a band-aid on that. So some of these problems are actually related to your energy body, which is aura.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about your personal experiences. Can you tell me a little bit about where did you learn Reiki and what are different stages of Reiki?
Yes. So I think that's where I will be able to really highlight and focus the differences and advantages of Reiki. Believe it or not, first of all, it's structured in a way, it's structured in 4 different levels. So, first level, it's so simple that if you are going to learn first level, you just need to go 2 days. It's gonna be a weekend class, 2 half days maybe, where they will, a Reiki master can, only he can do something called attunement. It's a sacred process where he's gonna do the attunement. After that, you become a Reiki channel. That means that Reiki starts flowing from your hand. It's just 2 days, and after that, there is a process of 21 days where you do self healing. But after that, it's so simple. You just have to go there 2 days, and after that, 21 days, you're just doing self healing at home to just really heal yourself, just pure yourself.
So you go there for 2 days,
Only 2 days.
and then they will tell you the process how it happens.
So there is a theory part, and there is a like 10 minutes attunement part, which is very sacred. Only a Reiki master can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, but after that, you kind of literally become first degree channel.
And then you can go home and do that 21-day thing.
21 days continuous. There are like they have identified 24 points on your body. So if 21 days continuously, you should do every 0.3 minutes. So 1.5 hours Reiki. That's it. It's not a lot of
One and
commitment.
a half
Hour.
hours per point.
No, no. All 24 points put together would be like around 1.5 hours. And that too required only 21 days. On after that, you are considered like open enough to become like a Reiki channel.
Reiki what?
Channel.
Channel.
Because now energy is
Can
coming
flow.
into your body, but if somebody has a problem, you're putting your hands on that, it is flowing out of your hands also. So you have kind of become a channel for
So
that.
going into basics, right? What I understand from the yoga is like yoga also, like we have our nervous system where
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
veins are there and our
Right.
blood is flowing.
Right.
We also have energy channel where
Yes.
energy flows.
Correct.
Some people call that energy as kundalini, right? Which is a dormant energy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So basically, that's where basically Ida and Pingla comes, which is the left channel
know,
and the right
yeah.
channel,
Left
right?
channel, right
There's a
channel.
lot of channels,
Yes.
but there's two main channels, which is Ida and Pingla,
Yeah.
and there's a main channel in the middle. It's called
Yeah.
Shushmana. They call it Shushmana Nadi.
Yeah.
Our seven chakras lie
Yes.
in that Shushmana,
Exactly.
and wherever I think those Reiki gurus or people who do that, they know where the blockage is. Blockage as in our goal from the yogic point of view. Now we are talking about the yoga point of view. Our energy is lied into our Mooladhara chakra. People don't know that. And every goal of every yoga person is to elevate that energy from bottommost to all the way to the head chakra.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I know about that. Yeah.
Right. So wherever the basically not everyone can do that, and some people have blockage. Like when we say blockage, that means that chakra is blocked.
Yes.
That means the energy is not flowing through that.
It's not
So
available.
let's talk about a little bit about that. Even I'm not
Yeah.
aware. Like
So,
what is the role of every chakra? If you
Well,
can.
I think now you have hit the bullseye. Uh, Even in Reiki, you are gonna get very detailed theories about all these chakras because, of course, I didn't want to go into all this detail prematurely. So, in Reiki theory, they for each chakra, they definitely would say, for example, the throat chakra, right? So in Reiki, because you're healing, right? So first thing, if anybody comes to you, what do you do is sort of like a chakra scan, because when I say 24 point, right? So we have 7 main points which are exactly the 7 chakras, and for every chakra we have few extensions. Like you have heart chakra, and then the palm is actually extension of the heart chakra. So you do sort of an scanning to figure out, okay, the energy level. You know, on one chakra it could be very high. So say somebody is having a lot of stress. So third eye chakra will kind of, you'll sense a lot of
Energy
extra
coming.
energy there.
Yeah.
But then somebody is having a lot of lack of energy, or he's having a lot of difficulty communicating with people.
That means the throat chakra has a problem.
Is low energy.
Is low energy, and
Yeah.
some has less emotions.
Yeah, then
The heart
if
chakra has
they
a-
can't really respect themselves and can't respect others and can't develop long-term relationship, it could be like heart chakra. So in Reiki, you will have very close association.
And
with
that
all
also
those
helps
chakras.
you in personal development also.
Yeah. So if you do Reiki, the whole concept is coming back to the first degree. You just go there 2 days. The Reiki master is gonna attune you, and after that, the 21 days, what you're doing is actually those 7 chakra. You're doing 3 minutes Reiki and extension of those 7 chakras. So you're actually self healing for those 21 days, and then you kind of become a channel, which is like now you're open enough. Your all the points are open now. So the purpose is that, okay, the attunement enabled your hands to really start flowing energy. So you have become a channel. So now you are kind of treating yourself. That's another good part where Reiki you can self heal and heal others also. So that's your first degree. But it's very closely associated with chakra. You're gonna get a lot of mention of all these chakras. So for every chakra, they'll tell you the physical aspects and the emotional aspects of every single chakra. So when you scan, you feel like, okay, there is some imbalances, and then you try to treat people accordingly.
When you say first degree, what does it mean?
Yeah, so there are 4 degrees. Very quickly telling you. So first degree, just 2 days you can go and take a class. So first degree, you are limited by time and space. So say if you have a patient and then he has a headache, you have to put your hand on his head, and then Reiki starts flowing. The second degree is where you get out of the foundation of time and space, where you can give Reiki remotely also. So it's little higher level, but again, two or 3 days classes, but little more theory and all. So then the third level is called advanced. So first and second just called Reiki channel 1, Reiki channel 2. The third one is like an advanced channel. So all the energy flow will be at its highest, but then you still don't know that sacred process to attune others. So the final stage is Reiki master. So then you actually become a Reiki master. So
then you can heal others.
you can attune others also. Right after you become Reiki channel 1, you can start healing others. Yeah.
I see.
The fourth one is where you can make somebody else Reiki channel. That's like a master.
Why it is a Japanese concept? Yoga is coming from India.
Yeah. So even the founder, our grandmaster, he recognized that okay, there is the evidence is that it originated in India, but the particular Reiki we are talking about, the Usui Reiki, they are our grandmasters. So I follow that lineage. So he really, I mean, in simple terms, it's very. He has made it very simple and very organized. Like all these 4 degrees, how what should be a first degree channel, what should be a second degree channel. So he really made it very simple. And another difference is that, say, I want to heal my child, right? He's having a sore throat and all. I literally have to do nothing. I mean, he's just lying on the sofa, and just have to put my hands. Even if sometimes I don't think that I'm giving him Reiki, and if he has a problem in that part, Reiki automatically starts flowing.
Have you done that to your child?
Yeah, so often, like if they are sick, and then
Can you tell by looking at or maybe feeling with anyone that where the chakra is blocked, where the energy is not flowing?
Yeah, so it's actually very common. What happens is like first degree Reiki channel they can do only when they can touch, right? So in fact you will be surprised that because second degree you're supposed to be doing things remotely, right? So they, especially in our class and then in my lineage, they so first of all the student has to believe that remote thing is possible. So we do some exercises where we make pairs, and then the other person is just putting somebody's age and some of the details, but other people can't see, and we try to imagine their aura on a pillow or something. So even that way we are able to tell them, okay, where the problem is. Say you have one relative, right, and then you clearly know where the problem is. The other person, as a student, they practice and they can tell where.
Can you tell me about myself?
Well, I need to really just get into
Okay.
that. Yeah, so you
okay.
have to lie down and relax, and then
I
after
see.
that,
I see.
basically.
So it takes a lot of
No, I mean,
pre-work.
it's that okay if I'm practicing, right? So if you're basically right now immediately, because I need to really calm and then really start thinking, right?
But you have done
Yeah.
to your child, your
And I mean, even now after the
relatives.
meeting, after this, if you want to experience that, right, I can definitely try it on you, right? And then I don't even have to scan you. I'll just put my hands near your head, not even touch your head, because like I'm already a master level, so I don't really have to touch you. I can really put my hand 6 inch above your body, and then see if you feel something. So we can definitely do that. It's not that.
When you say what I feel something, what does it mean?
So, in my experience, it means different things to different people. So, say for example, you are having sinus, and then I'm putting my hand, and then if you need a lot of energy, I'm literally sweating in my hands, but you also feel warmth. But at the same time, I have seen another case where they have high BP and a lot of tension and stress. Again, my hands are like sweating, and my hands become red, but they feel as if somebody is applying ice on their head, right? They feel
that has
calm.
happened.
So it's like perception, right? So different people perceive it differently according to their problem. And I have also seen cases where somebody is having ulcer, right? And I'm scanning, so my hand tells me that okay, keep your hand here, but he is actually feeling the energy in the stomach, because the root could be there, right? It may be some digestion related stuff because of that ulcer happened.
Right.
So
Cool, man.
And there are also examples where I'm scanning and people feel some sort of energy leaving their body at the base of the feet, which is very common in fact. So whenever you start any start session on a person who has energy body related problem, like anything related to your emotional or mental body, that experience is very common. They start feeling tingling at the base of their feet as if something is just going out.
I think the exit point are the feet, toes,
Yeah, that's where your
and
ground.
the hands also.
Yeah, it's like your grounding point. So that experience is very common. So yeah, different people have experience, but I mean, if you think about it, right, some of if you like in America, right, even doctors fear that okay, anybody can sue doctors and everybody. So even here in Seattle, if people are running Reiki centers giving therapy to people and earning money out of it, there has to be something behind it. Yeah.
So you're saying the centers here are fake, or they are?
No, they are real. They should be real. I
But
have not.
why people? Okay, so you're saying if they are not real, then people might be suing them, but they are fine.
Yeah, if people going and taking therapy from them, there has to be something behind it, right? Because see, yoga also took some time to come to Western world, right?
Right.
So even
There has to be some reason, some
yeah, in
benefits.
Western world, people really, there has to be some scientific base, and otherwise it's very difficult. It can't just be a placebo, right?
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Makes sense. Cool, man. So, if somebody has to learn or like do experience Reiki, what are some of the institutes they can go in the US and in India?
There should be many because even in
Because fake thing is going on everywhere.
yeah, so there are a number of things you can do. Uh, so you can really Google around, and then there is one founder there, which is my lineage, which is like Ushu Reiki. He was the founder.
Where?
He That's the grandmaster, the first grandmaster who discovered all that and formalized
What
everything.
is the name?
Dr. Mikao Ushui.
Okay.
Yeah, but he had some of the disciples who also got very famous. And in fact, it's one of his disciples who brought the Reiki to the Western. But yeah, long story short, one thing you can do is try to follow their lineage. Ask them what's your lineage. Okay, who is your master? What is his master, and all of that. So see if it traces back to one of the reputed disciples of the main founder. That's one way. Other way, could be just just go get the first degree, become first degree student. It should not be very expensive or time consuming. As I said, it's just 2 days, right? uh, Before that, try going when you have a problem. Say you have a sore throat or headache or sinus or whatnot. If you have a problem, just try to go take a therapy session. And if you can see energy flowing, if you can feel energy flowing, then you would believe it, right? And if you don't feel anything,
So you
okay,
are saying take multiple sessions with different people and see which one works for
just
you.
take it as a healing session. When you have problem, try to visit them. So if you visit somebody and he's trying to teach you even without touching you, if his hands are floating 4 inch above your body, and
Can you see, or your eyes are closed?
you can keep your eyes open.
You can keep your eyes open.
Yeah, if you feel it, you feel it. You
Hmm.
don't have to keep your eyes. But some people, I mean, if they are feeling relaxed, they can always keep their eyes closed. But you don't have to. And there's no magic happening there. I mean, you will feel them scanning, and then putting their hands here and there, and you start feeling it. Then you believe it, and after that, you can go to the same person to become first degree channel, because you have experienced the Reiki flowing out of his hands, right?
Where have you been? Like, where did you learn this from?
Yeah, that's like another interesting part. Reiki is like very simple. You have a lot of text available and all of that. It's like very simple for even young people to learn. In fact, I became first degree channel when I was in college, and I completed my mastership when I was still doing my masters.
Hmm.
And even before I left masters, I already took multiple classes. A lot of my classmates and my juniors, they were already my Reiki students.
Hmm.
So just think about people, college level people who are able to really perceive that, feel that, and during college they are becoming my students. It's like so simple, even for a Reiki master to really take classes and all of that. Even for an individual to feel that and become a Reiki channel, and they do feel differences. It was totally word of mouth, because I was a student. I was not having a lot of advertisement and anything. It was just word of mouth.
So you learned from India.
Yeah, I learned in India. Yeah. So I took, just because I became Reiki master, I started taking classes, and then like people are asking me, can you repeat that type of thing? So it's very simple.
Where in India did you learn?
Indore city.
Indore. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know the best institute in India to learn Reiki?
Well, there are.
Rishikesh is the capital of yoga. I know that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm
So
not.
that's for yoga. I can always find out, because it has been some time, because 99 is where I completed my
Yeah.
master. So I would have become master in 98. So that way, if you ask me about Indore, I can always, give you references of my family. Uh, but it doesn't, you don't have to really find out the best institute, so to say. Go try that therapy, and if you feel the energy flowing from your body, you start believing in that, just become first degree channel. And after that first degree channel, when you do that 21 days, uh, most people are gonna see significant differences
Got it.
in like not only physically but the whole outlook towards life and all. So then for a lot of people, just first degree channel, becoming just first degree channel itself can be good enough, because you can touch your own body, right?
If
So
it's coming
yeah.
from Japan, isn't it better to do in Japan?
Well, I think what can happen is you can become first degree channel anywhere.
And then if you want to proceed further, you can go somewhere.
Then you start asking, okay, what's the difference between first degree and second degree? So of course, first there is difference in level of energy. There is difference where you can do things remotely. It starts to go into that telepathy level where you're able to do things differently and all. So then you start asking questions, and then you can really go figure out, you know.
So you can heal someone or you can do things with someone remotely.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And
you
you have
can.
experienced that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. What are some of the challenges that you have experienced in Reiki that people have faced?
Well, challenges is that I have seen not everybody is so receptive
And
to.
why in India we don't know about Reiki a lot?
Well, I think the in India there are already some parallel sciences, I would say, like pranic healing, for example, and then I think I would say the yoga itself is like a very big umbrella of so many of these things, right? So if you start going towards meditation and all, and then yoga is very famous in India. So then that was one of the challenge where, okay, exactly, I have seen that where, okay, what's this thing, right? We already have some other things, right? And then we used to ask question, okay, can you go and do this kind of first degree, right? I mean, do you have an alternative where only 2 half days you will become a channel, and after that you can start healing yourself like this? There was no alternative. So but yeah, there are always challenges where not everybody is so receptive of the idea. uh, I mean, they simply want like a scientific evidence just about everything, and then I used to ask them, okay, do you even know if electricity flows in the wire?
Yeah.
Because if you google it,
If you
uh,
Google it, you
you
will
will
know,
find
but you
that
can't see it.
you
Yeah, I get that. The thing with India and other forms of yoga is like we have different kinds of yoga. We have Kriya yoga, we have
yeah, yeah.
Astang yoga, we have Hatha yoga,
Mm,
and every yoga has one goal, which is ultimate goal, which is samadhi. Samadhi is where basically you elevate your energy levels and your
yeah,
chakras, and
right.
your kundalini flows through all the chakras and goes towards your head chakra,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's where basically you get enlightened.
Yeah,
That's
I
what they
know a
call.
bit about that because again, I was doing that in India, and so like my family had like some of the other like collaborative efforts with some of the other people. So there were some people doing pranic, and we found it was like very very similar. So we used to really interact with them, and that's how I came to know about all this kundalini. Kundalini is where you awaken your kundalini, and you keep doing that. So that concept is that you're raising your kundalini, and then each chakra it passes, going from down to up, it has a very different meaning. You become somebody else, and then slowly all your karma is going to become zero and all of that. The moment it's already here, so everything has a meaning. We don't want to go into a lot
Don't
of
you
deep.
think that
Yeah,
Reiki called Reiki yoga or just Reiki? First
just
thing.
Reiki.
So Reiki has link with all that Kundalini yoga, Ashtanga
Well, I think
yoga,
it doesn't have a
or
link,
it's perpendicular.
but what happened is like, so when I say Reiki, for me it's like Yushui Reiki, but then there are like so many sub branches that got created, and then you have Fire Reiki, and then Karuna Reiki, Reiki Yoga, and especially when it went to India, there's even more collaborative efforts where somebody already knew yoga, they came to know about Reiki, and they say, oh, that's like a very good tool in my tool set, right? Because it looks very simple. Why don't I just try that? So they tried it for first degree, second degree, and then they become master themselves, and they found that okay, they found their own theory, right? Because now you practice, right? Just like a doctor, right? What happens is somebody becomes a doctor, he does more research, and then he can find something else, right?
Hmm.
You never know, he can find his own alternative medicine, right? So it's
Hmm.
like that, right?
So basically, what you are saying is initially it was the main branch is yoga, and
Yeah,
it was a
especially India. Yeah,
sub branch
especially
of it.
India, yoga is like this whole holistic thing.
Hmm.
Ideally, it should be able to teach you how to interact with your emotional and mental bodies and aura. It's
Hmm.
not a new concept, But then just ask yourself, where can you just go and take 2 half days class and start healing yourself like that? Then you won't find that.
You know, the thing is, in the world, everything is, there's a lot of information out there,
Yeah,
right? And also there's a lot of misinformation also.
yeah, that's the problem.
People have formed themselves as guru, and they started giving those misinformation. And also yoga has different branches, as you mentioned. People are confused which what to do, what not to do. Like for example, some people like to do, like, I don't want to name some gurus, but some gurus have like 7 day program, 3 day program. You
Yeah,
do this, you do that, right? And then you have like bhakti yoga, kriya yoga, ashtanga
yeah.
yoga, hatha
I
yoga.
think you would also agree with me where it's kind of hit or miss or blazing or curse. I don't know how to call it, because you have some purist form, and then somebody's coming in and then naming it differently and starting his own sub branch and then really his own thing. So it can be like a good thing or it can also be like a bad thing. So when you say Reiki yoga, together they can be more powerful, or together they can be like confusing, where now people I cannot associate that with pure Reiki or cannot associate that with pure yoga, but they are still calling it yoga. Nobody can stop people. So again, it depends, man.
I think what I feel like is there's a lot of forms of yoga. As a person who
Yeah,
is a learner, they should do everything and go in a direction which they feel like it's working for them. Because the goal
yeah,
for yoga is to elevate, to relieve stress,
yeah,
depression, make you calm, make you more peaceful, make you more connected to the nature. If bhakti yoga is where you are jap, jumping the name of the god,
hmm,
or Ashtanga yoga is where basically you have 8 limbs of yoga. You are doing pranayam, you're doing asana and
okay,
stuff like that. Hatha
yeah,
yoga is just
yeah,
exercises.
right, right. Now some of that I
Whatever
know,
works for
not
you.
everything. Yeah, I think all I can say is that, say you find a new thing, right? Okay, now Reiki is a new thing. Okay, all I'm saying is it doesn't take a lot of time and effort to just really go and experience that for any healing purpose,
Yeah, I
right?
want to do that next
Yeah,
after
and
this.
then if you can feel that energy flowing and you think, okay, that could be something worth trying, then just become a first degree channel. It just take 2 days, right?
Hmm.
And after that, if you become interested, then you do some serious research, because
Hmm.
see, when you people Google and watch all these YouTube videos, you can agree that it's not that you're really going into a lot of detail. It's all that, different people are saying different things
Hmm.
and you're confused. But then become first degree channel yourself, and then try to find a lineage back to one grandmaster who is very reputed.
Hmm.
There are some people who are very reputed. Find their lineage.
Hmm.
Find some master in their lineage.
Same with the yoga also. Do that.
Yeah, so you can always go to India, and then
Hmm.
there are some very good gurus or guides who are very reputed. So once you want to go into the detail, at least get started. Get started, and then it's a new dimension. Because ask yourself, if you right now, do you have anything that can connect you to all this aura or energy or a path towards spirituality is like 7 steps ahead. But today, you're doing a lot of things for your physical body, but do you know any energy science or anything where you can start feeling or interacting with your energy body, or
Hmm.
can you start healing that? If you don't have that answer, why not just try Reiki?
Hmm.
Just become first degree channel. Try it out. There's no harm. Another thing I forgot to mention is that you just cannot harm anybody with Reiki.
Okay, there's
Yeah,
always benefits.
if you're healing yourself or
Hmm.
healing others, there is like absolutely no chance of doing bad or harming somebody.
Hmm.
There could be some other forms. I mean, not trying to talk about negatively, but if you're watching a video and trying to do yoga yourself, you can overstretch and all. So if you're not
Hmm.
doing it properly, there can be,
Like yoga, right?
yeah,
Yoga,
any
if you do
physical exercise.
overstretch, you will hurt your back.
Right. But with Reiki, it's basically you put your hands
That's it.
and then Reiki starts flowing. And then once everything is balanced, Reiki tries to balance everything. Once it is balanced, Reiki flow will stop,
Hmm.
and you cannot control it. You cannot over push Reiki into somebody where it's like a lot of Reiki, lot of energy, and no. So,
Do you feel like having some power when you do that? Like God
so
level power?
uh, I mean,
When you are a
it will be,
healer?
yeah, you are a healer. So, but God level power,
Like little bit,
yeah,
0.001%.
basically, yeah, you have to be humble not to feel that. But not God level power, but better word would be that you definitely feel connected to that universal life force energy, because when
And you feel like we are not just a body.
we are a channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they teach you. So there is unlimited supply of universal life for energy, and then the the person has some imbalances, so you're trying to balance that with Reiki. So if the person needs more energy, you are a channel to flow that energy into their aura, and after that their aura heals itself. Basically, when you're born, all your chakras are open, you have very good aura and all.
Is it?
Yeah, and then slowly it closes,
Why?
because once we start learning all these things in life, and then you start blocking
Developing
things.
emotions and those kind of things.
Yeah, so the body comes with a good
That's why
aura.
they call that when a child is born, you are more connected to the God.
Yeah, so body comes with a very good aura, which knows how to heal itself if you have enough energy. So with Reiki, what we are doing is we are a channel to supply that energy where it is lacking, and we are trying to balance it where it is more. So once you give that signal, it's kind of a trigger to the aura where, okay, we are doing Reiki, and then you can't over push energy into somebody's aura. The aura knows how much to pull. It's kind of a pull model, so to say. So after that, Reiki flow stops, and then the energy is kind of making its way into the aura, and then it can take like few days to really work its magic. So that's how it works. So you
Got it.
cannot, there is no harm. If you go become first degree Reiki channel, absolutely no harm can happen to you. And then you're healing yourself, no harm can happen to you. You're healing somebody else, you can't harm anybody.
Has Reiki helped you in any of the professional work, or
Yeah.
just spiritual?
Well, I think uh, spirituality is a very big term. Basically, the again, I try to understand things by differentiating. Like, what's the difference between religion and spirituality, right? So, religion is your way of life. Your belief system and all of that.
How you get up in the morning, do
Yeah,
that is a way of life.
yeah. Somebody comes and tells me that I don't follow religion, but then
But they're following some way of life.
if you have a very good way of life, others can start following
Actually,
you.
you know what?
Right?
Hinduism is called way of life. So people say that Hindu is a religion, but I would say
It's
Hinduism
a
is
way
a way
of
of
life,
life.
right?
Yeah.
But spirituality is your path towards the God, where all religions should come and meet. Just
Meat. Yeah.
in Hindi, it's like dharma and adhyatma. So that is the difference basically. So this is like
Hinduism is a dharam,
huh,
and spirituality is adhyatmik.
adhyatma. So adhyatma is a way to God where the supreme being is one. So that's the whole concept. That's how
Every religion teaches
I
that.
see
Yeah.
that. So Reiki is basically a tool where you start perceiving and understanding that additional dimension, so to say. Right now you understand your physical body, right? And you should have a physical good healthy physical body, otherwise you can't,
can't do
skip,
anything.
you can't skip that step to go to Reiki, right? You have to have a very good healthy physical body, and then if you want to start perceiving your emotional body, your mental body, astral body, and then that's the path towards your spirituality. Even if you're not going very far, what happens is you do this first degree channel, and then 21 days you heal yourself, you are going to feel a lot of differences. The whole outlook towards life will change, your interaction with other people will change, you'll start respecting yourself. I mean, people's dream patterns will change, a lot
Changes.
of positivity starts flowing into their own being. The whole connection with world and people, a lot of things actually improve, you slowly realize that.
Can we say Reiki is the best form of healing?
Well, I think it it cannot replace your physical. It can't replace your allopathy or exercise or some of the things that you must do for your
Those are
physical.
MVP.
So it's
Those are
kind of an addition.
addition. It's like a cherry on top.
It's like uh, it's not meant to replace some of the things that you are supposed to do for your physical body. I mean, if I'm making somebody Reiki channel, I will never suggest he will stop going to the gym, for example. I would never say that, okay, just stop going to the doctor, right? No, that's not the purpose. The purpose is that Reiki will help you perceive the energy part of that you have not known before. And the experiences that you have, it kind of opens that whole dimension where you start studying that, right? When you study all these chakras, it's just a text for you, but then you start feeling your chakras after you become channel, and then you're giving Reiki to your chakras. Then you become more interested, and then you start realizing the meaning of all those chakras, and then maybe some part where you needed the healing. Maybe somebody is having problem in social expression, very shy and all of that, and then he perceived that, okay, this is where when I put my hands, Reiki, really a lot of Reiki flows. Then he realizes, okay, yeah, that maybe that was the reason.
Right, right, right.
So that's how I put it. It's like a very good complementary thing after you are physically fit and all.
Right, right,
Don't
right.
try to just replace your physical well-being tools with Reiki. Reiki is not like one single thing that can just cure everything.
It's not one thing, one tool that cures. It's a holistic concept.
Yeah,
Going
but
to
say you have a cold,
hmm.
then you take medication, and after that you can do Reiki also.
Right, right, right,
Reiki is
right,
going to help there, but just it can't just replace everything.
right. And coming back to the topic, right? So the topic of the podcast is mindfulness.
Yes.
So applying mindfulness techniques in the Reiki format.
Hmm.
How do you link mindfulness with Reiki here?
I think how I can link is that I believe that if a person is open, the whole all this chakra system, their own energy body, if it is open and pure and balanced, the results will be tenfold better. So you do
Whatever you do,
whatever you
work
do,
life,
right?
personal life, professional life,
Yeah.
it will
Even
be
if you
10.
do mindfulness, I think having an understanding about all this chakra system, and then when you do mindfulness, exactly what you're doing. So maybe if you understand the third eye chakra more, and then you have opened yourself, maybe
You're more
that have
mindful.
gone to some other level, and maybe the same yoga that you're doing mindfulness can have much better results. Like even in Reiki, they have yoga, right? When we go to first degree class, second degree class, they also teach us some mindfulness meditation where you actually focus on your chakra and also doing Reiki. So, for example, so yeah, that's a half an hour process. So I would say if your aura is fully balanced with Reiki, all the other things would be much more beneficial.
Got it, got it. Cool, man. We talked a lot
Yeah, I know, I know.
about Reiki and stuff. One
Yeah,
final question is,
sure.
what advice do you give to the listeners on this topic, Reiki?
Well, I think I would say I really benefited a lot just by discovering this whole dimension of energy body. Uh, you can pick up a form, whatever form you like. If you believe there is a form in India or elsewhere in the world where you think it is associated with energy body and it can teach you to perceive that or heal that or balance that, follow that. But if you're not, if you are unable to find an easy enough thing, Reiki, I have found that the biggest advantage that's very simple, very well organized, very well documented. So if you can find like a center or master, just give it a try. It's not a lot of commitment, but I think having that ability to perceive that whole dimension really changes your perception, right? You can really put meaning in that dimension also. Like sometimes, we casually say, is my friend, our frequency matches, right? So after you do Reiki, that the simple sentence, simple statement is going to have a very different meaning. Then you feel, okay, that's what it means when frequency matches.
Frequency, aura, vibe, chemistry. People use these words.
Yeah,
When even in relationships, right? People say, "Oh, with the girl or with the guy, our
right,
vibe match, our aura
right,
matches,
right,
our frequency matches."
right, right.
That's what I think this is all about.
Yeah, it creates a lot of difference, like because sometimes what happens is even when I'm talking I start perceiving things, right? So when we started talking, you had a lot of curiosity and questions, so right, you have a lot of activities in your head, right? Because you were curious, you wanted to ask a lot of questions, right? But you can just rewatch the video, right? So slowly it started moving down where from here it came here, but now it almost feels like you are actually talking from your heart, right? I mean, because you're really into it. So I mean, you start perceiving all these meanings to when you say frequency matching, and then when you're talking to people, you start perceiving not only what they say, what they mean, and you kind of get better at it. You kind of get better at respecting yourself, and then
Right,
people are gonna respect you as well.
right.
Some of those things, you have that meaning into that direction. So I think that's my advice. There's always a time where I'm not saying just start a whole journey towards spirituality, but this is the first step. And Reiki is a very simple and available
Tool.
thing to do that, and it's safe, just safe. It just cannot harm yourself or anybody. So it's a good tool to just get started in that direction. Even if you just do first degree, even that will bring a lot of change.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
Cool, man. Thank you so much for your information and for your deep knowledge. It actually learned a lot in Reiki terms, and I hope the listeners also learned a lot.
okay, I hope
Maybe
so.
we should have different podcasts on different topics. I know you
Sure,
bring a lot of knowledge.
sure. I'll be happy
Y-
to.
yeah, you bring like photography knowledge, tech knowledge, travel knowledge also, and
Some
Seattle in
of
general,
that.
and housing market and stuff. There's a lot of topics to talk about,
Sure,
but I
man.
think we are good so far in this one, yoga and Reiki.
Sure.
Thank you so much for being in the podcast, and I wish you luck for
Yeah, and
the.
again, thanks for including me. Even I learned a few things after talking to you, because it has been some time after that I kind of touched upon all of these things. So it was really a nice experience, and being it's an honor to really being able to participate. And
Thank you so much,
yeah,
man. Okay,
thank you,
thank you. See you.
thank you.